Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be taking you a little bit through my prep process and all the way to my finished design. So to kick things off, I start by pushing back my cuticle, and you can just see how much of my cuticle is kind of revealing itself. So that way I can use my cuticle nippers. Now that part I don't show on camera because I like to get up and close with my cuticle nippers. That way I know I'm not cutting any like live tissue. So that part, like I said, I don't show, but after I push back my cuticles, I go in with this flame bit right here. I do have this on my Amazon storefront, and I have been leaning more and more towards this bit because of the angle. I am less likely to give myself like rings of fire. I recently did switch over to a different bit that I used to love and haven't used it in a while, so I thought I would give it a try. Guys, I gave myself rings of fire, and I know it's not the bit's fault. That was totally my fault, but I just thought like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. Nothing's gonna happen, and I just put a little bit too much pressure on my nail. So flame bit it is. I've never given myself rings of fire with my flame bit, and I will be continuing to use this one. And just a little, FYI, the rings of fire were not crazy at all. It's just that I can see them. I noticed them. And obviously we don't want to be e-filing into our nail plate in that way. So yeah, I won't be using that bit anymore. Once my prep was all said and done, it was time to do my Gel X application, and I always start off by putting 2 coats of the Macart Peel It Off base coat whenever I'm doing content. That way I can just pop these off once I'm done, so that's why my nails are already shiny. And then once I fully cure those 2 coats, I go in with my Apres Extend Gel. The Apres Extend Gel is so nice. If you do Gel X nails, I highly recommend you give it a try because a little bit goes a long way. So I'll just let you guys watch my Gel X application, and then I'll come back. After I finished my Gel X application, it was time to seal in that cuticle. Now this is a fresh bit because in one of my last videos, I realized that the bit was getting dull because it started digging into my acrylic when I was trying to seal in the cuticle, which was incredibly annoying. So this is a brand new bit and it was cutting through this Gel X like chef's kiss. It was so perfect. I spent little to no time like sealing in this cuticle, and then after I used this carbide bit, I went in with my sanding band and I was done. It was so fast. I loved it. And I don't know what made me so delulu to think that that last bit was still good. Don't ask. But we don't have that problem no more. So here's me sealing in my cuticle with one of my favorite Melody Susie bits. Anything that I do use in this video, by the way, I will try to have it linked down in the description below, or you guys could check out my Amazon storefront if you are curious. If for some reason I do forget something, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Now, normally when I'm doing my Gel X application, I always like to finish sealing in my cuticle with a little bit of acetone on the brush, and I'll just rub it around that area and it sort of melts the tip a little bit better. That way the blend looks so much more seamless. However, I felt like I didn't need to do that this time because my carbide bit was so fresh that it just wasn't necessary. So I don't do that in this video, but if you feel like you ever need to do that, or you feel like maybe it's not blended the way you would like, just go ahead and take some acetone on a brush and rub it around that area and it'll make it much more seamless. Now let's get into the nail art. There is quite a couple things going on, so I'm going to walk you through it as best as possible. The first thing I did was take my nude gel polish by Apres. This one is called Vintage Carnation. I have about 5 nude polishes by Apres and they are stunning. They have like 4 or 5 more that I want to get because it's just perfect for any skin tone. Like, they have them all. Anyways, I digress. That's not the point. The point is, I went ahead with this shade on my index finger and my pinky, and then I do something different for my other 3 fingers. And I do 2 coats of Vintage Carnation. And then for this finger right here, this is by Goi. It recently came out how to pronounce their name, and I think it's Goi, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how you say it. I think it's Goi. But I did 1 coat of this. I did not go in with 2 coats because I put on a second coat after I do the design for this snail. After I take some white gel polish to create this like little oval bubble shape, I go in with blue gel polish, fully cure that, and then I go in with a blue cat's eye. And before I cure that in the lamp, of course, you take your magnet and you move the magnets in the polish however you want. Now, it wasn't necessary to go in with white gel polish. I was just unsure of what I really wanted to do on this nail, which is why I did so many steps. But you don't have to do that at all. You could just take blue gel polish and then put your cat eye gel polish right over that. Once I fully cured the blue gel polish, I go in with that same blue cat eye gel polish. Now they're both by Beetles, the blue gel polish and the blue cat eye polish. I don't remember the exact numbers or shades off the top of my head, but I will double check that and link those down in the description for you. I know for a fact that I have my cat eye Beetles polish linked in my storefront. So that I know is covered, but I'll double check everything for you guys and put them in the description below. So I wanted to do sort of like a cheetah turquoise design. It's more of a cheetah print because turquoise I would have used blossom gel or blooming gel in order to create the black parts and have them bloom out like a tortoise, but this is more of a cheetah print, I guess. And I just took black with a dotting tool and just made little circles around the edges. And then I do the same thing for my thumb later on. Once I fully cure this in the lamp, that's when I go in with that second coat of brown jelly polish by Goi, and I only cover the brown areas, and it'll give it a darker effect, which I really liked. Next, I go back to my thumb to do sort of a half French design. I've seen this a couple of times on nail designs, and I think it's really unique. So instead of doing a traditional French, the line you see me creating is as far as the French is gonna go. So you still go down into the cuticles, but it just doesn't go any further than this white line that I created. And then I do a design, a 3D design, I should say, right over that line. It turns out really, really cute. And after this nail, I do go to my pinky. So we'll come back to this finger so you can see what I'm talking about later on. Now for the last 3 fingers that I just did with the blue gel polish, I wanted to do everything that had to be with everything that had to be done with blue gel polish. I just wanted to do them and get that out of the way. That way I can do the cat eye designs all in one shot as well. Now for this finger in particular, if you're ever going to do a design like this, you have to do each bubble separately, because if you put cat eye gel polish in every single bubble and then try to shade in every single bubble, it's going to move the magnets in every single bubble individually, if that makes sense. I know I'm saying bubble a lot, but you want to put the cat eye in one spot, cure it, and then put the cat eye polish in another bubble. That way the cat eye shimmers or shines more evenly, and you can dictate how it looks better in comparison to trying to do it all in one shot. Next, it was time to start using my chrome. So what I'm gonna do here is take black gel polish and just go around the design and cover in black everything that's not a cat eye. After I do that, I cure it for 30 seconds and then I just rub the chrome everywhere. I do want to mention that before I go in with my black gel polish, I did matte top coat the entire nail. That way the chrome only sticks to the black gel polish and not to the blue cat eye. Once the chrome was done, I take some Macart sculpted gel paint and I mix that with some black gel polish, and I do this 3D design around every bubble. Now I cure this in the light also for 30 seconds before I rub my chrome all over it, and there's no need to matte top coat it after you put the gold chrome around. Okay, so I put the gold chrome around the blue, right? And now I'm doing the 3D design. You don't have to matte top coat it a second time. That's what I'm trying to say. Once the chrome is all set and done and everything looks great, what I do and completely forgot to show is that I take the Macart sculpted gel paint again on a clean brush. I use it with clear. I don't mix any gel polish with it. And I put the blobs of sculpted gel paint inside each bubble just to give it an elevated 3D effect, which is super, super gorgeous. And then I top coat it to finish off the design. So what I'm doing here, because I completely forgot to do it before I did my French, is I wanted to do a nude ombre effect from the French going down into my cuticle and totally forgot to do it. So I took a tiny little sponge. I got this off of Amazon and absolutely love them. And I took brown liner gel, and that's what I'm using as my ombre polish. I did that on my index finger and on my pinky. If you feel like the ombre line is too harsh and it's not really giving the ombre effect, take a clean little sponge like you see me doing here and then work your way backwards just to thin out that line a little bit better. Now, I flash cured each layer, which was about 3 layers, because you do have to build up to the intensity that you want your ombre to look. So I flash cured each layer for about 15 seconds, and I did 3 different layers. Now, the very last thing I did to finish off the design was take some solid nail glue in clear by McCart, and I just rolled it on a little piece of paper that you see down there to give it this tiny little snake design. And for my pinky and my thumb, I did 2 little snake designs, if that makes sense. I don't know what else to call it but a snake. But once I get it rolled up and onto the nail the way that I like and everything looks even, I put some black gel polish over it and put chrome on top of that, and it makes it stand out so nice. I absolutely loved it, but this was the very last thing I did to finish off the design. That's it for this nail design, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely love the brown against the blue with the gold. And the gold isn't like gold, it's like a copper gold, and it's so cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.